Good morning to all of you. I'm glad to see you here, and I hope that you're able to take some of what you're about to hear and apply it to your own lives in some aspect. As many of you know, I'm not a deep person. In fact, I wear my heart on my sleeve and I speak my mind, be it good or bad, most of the time. I tell my students, the parents of my students, and my fellow teachers that I come in one crayon box, the basic 8, nothing mixed in. That's me in a nutshell. That's it. For the majority of my life, I've had one goal in mind, to be the best female attorney that champions children's rights and their issues. My college career at Texas Tech was geared toward that with a major in political science and a minor in special education. I had one goal in sight and nothing was going to stop me. Almost nothing. I never took into account the fact that I might burn out, and that is exactly what happened. I walked away from Texas Tech with one semester to go. No law school, no graduation. I joined the real world. I worked at law firms, doing what I thought I loved, law. It was where I thought I needed to be. I loved it. But then in 1989, I became pregnant. And again, I made the choice. I walked away from a great possible career. And I've relished my new career, 17 years of raising my children. There I learned so much about my children and their worlds. I yearned, though, to be back in the workforce and championing the same cause with a renewed energy and purpose. Because I was away from the workforce for so long, the only thing I was qualified for was working in a daycare, and that's exactly what I did. But I wanted more, so I re-enrolled in Texas Tech, and I worked at a pre-K in Lake Travis Elementary, and that is where I met Michael. He was one of my new students, and there was something very different about him. I was taking classes in special ed, and Michael exhibited so many characteristics of autism. He had no IEP or was not formally diagnosed with any special needs. He was loving, had a smile that melted my heart, and was a handful and a half. He was receiving speech therapy, and there was my window. I had his speech therapist come in and observe him. She confirmed my suspicions and agreed to recommend that Michael be tested for possible learning disabilities. His parents agreed. Michael was diagnosed with autism spectrum on the high end. He was nonverbal, sensory issues, social issues, and was off the charts brilliant in math. He was my aha moment. I wanted to make his days in my classroom as good as I could and to reach him in some way. I reached out to my professors, other special ed teachers at Lake Travis, and my friends that had children with autism. I had found my passion in a little guy named Big Mike. In January of that same year, Michael was moved to Cedar Park, where he would receive full range of services, and that I was not able to give him. His family was also to receive counseling and helping to cope with his disability. His last day with me was filled with hugs, smiles, and lots of tears. His mother told me that I gave Michael his life and that they would never forget me. It has been 2 years since then, and we are still in touch. Flash forward to today, and I'm completing my degree in education at Texas Tech. I was on the extended plan, 30 years, a little-known plan that Texas Tech has for those of us that walk away. I've attended several conferences around the country sponsored by the Bill Gates Foundation, and it was at these conferences that I was asked to help create several new apps for children with autism for the iPad. My youngest daughter and I are working to create a charity that raises funds for iPads with children with autism. With this application and language programs available on the iPad, it can give those without a voice a way to communicate with their world and a host of other ways to help them. I hope that you find or have had your aha moment as I have. My life has a passion that I feel deeply about and will defend it to the highest. I have not given up on the dream of becoming the badass attorney. Only my clients will be those without a voice, yet plenty to say. Never let go of your dreams because they offer direction, not a path. Choose wisely. Thank you for listening, and I hope that you all have a great day. How was that?